Hi everyone, and welcome back to First the Coffee Crochet. In this tutorial we're going to go over how to make a hanging crochet storage pouch. This pattern is in US terms, and your initial chains at the beginning of the row do not count as a stitch. If you want to change the width of the basket, the foundation chain needs to be a multiple of 3 plus 2, and that number needs to be even, and then add 1 to that. So for example, as this starts, it's a chain of 33, so that would be 30 plus 2, which is 32. That's even, so that'll work. And then you just want to add 1 on to the end of that for a turning chain for the initial row. The finished size, as the pattern is written, is 11 inches tall and 9 inches wide. So to make this storage pouch, you'll need 175 yards of a medium weight yarn. I did use a cotton yarn. I used the Capri Eco Cotton that you can find at Michael's. Other options would be like the Lion Brand 24/7, Peaches and Cream from Walmart. You could also use like Lily's Sugar and Cream, or you can use acrylic if you like. It doesn't really matter. You'll also need a 12-inch dowel rod, a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. And stitch markers can be used if you'd like to help pin the sides together as you stitch up the sides, and also to help keep track of your rows if you would like. As always, there is a written pattern available on my website, and I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. And if you like these tutorials, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified as new ones come out. So let's go ahead and get started making the storage pouch. To start out, you want to create a chain of 33. Okay, and once you have your chain of 33, for row 1, we're going to be doing single crochets all the way across. Now it does look best for this project to work in the back bump instead of the top, but if you don't like to do that, you don't have to. This is just mainly for aesthetics because this is going to be the top of the outside portion of our pouch. So if you do want to work in the back bump, you just turn it over and you see these little ridges here. We're going to be starting in the second chain from the hook. So that's the first and that's the second. You'll just insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. We're just going to do that in each chain all the way down the foundation chain. That should give you a total of 32 single crochets at the end of row 1. Okay, for row 2, this is going to be the main stitch that we're going to do throughout most of this project, and it's the lemon peel stitch. And all that is just alternating a single crochet and double crochet stitch. So to start out, we'll chain 1 and we'll turn our work. And then starting in this first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. And then in the following stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. So you just yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull through the next 2. Then you do another single crochet, and then follow that up with a double crochet. And this is what you're going to do all the way across the row. Single crochet, and then double crochet. And the last stitch of the row should be a double crochet. And at the end of this row, last stitch is a double crochet. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for 2 more rows, rows 3 and 4. So you'll just chain 1, turn your work, start in that first stitch with a single crochet, follow that up with a double crochet. And what you'll find with this is where there was a double crochet in the previous row, the next row there's going to be a single crochet on top of that. Where there was a single crochet in the previous row, in the next row there's going to be a double crochet on top of that. Okay, so just do this all the way across and then repeat it one more time for row 4. And I'll meet you back here at the end of row 4. Okay, so after finishing row 4, For row 5, we'll chain 1, and we'll turn our work. Now we're just going to do single crochets in each stitch all the way across for row 5. Just start in that first stitch there, and just do 1 single crochet in each stitch. For row 6, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And for this row, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets, a chain and skipping a stitch, and then doing 2 double crochets. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. So we'll be starting in this first stitch. This doesn't count as a starting stitch. So just do a double crochet in that first stitch, and do another double crochet in the next. Then we'll chain 1, we'll skip a stitch, and then in that following stitch, do another double crochet, and then do a double crochet in the next stitch after that, chain 1, skip a stitch, and then a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So we'll just repeat this chain 1, skip a stitch, 2 double crochets, all the way to the end of the row. Okay, so at the end of this, when you have 3 stitches left, you'll chain 1, skip a stitch, and then in the last 2 stitches, do a double crochet in each of those. Now for row 7, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and starting in that first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, and we're just going to do a single crochet all the way across. So we'll do another one in that next stitch, and then in the next chain space, we'll do a single crochet, and we'll do 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, and then in the chain space, and we'll just continue that all the way across. At the end of row 7, starting for row 8 and going through row 19, we're going to go back to doing the lemon peel stitch. So for these rows, you'll chain 1, turn your work, and starting in that first stitch, do a single crochet, and then in the next stitch, a double crochet. And we'll just alternate that back and forth all the way through row 19. And just remember, the end of each row should be a double crochet as the last stitch. So after you've completed row 19, for rows 20 through 25, we're going to be doing single crochet again. So to do those rows, you'll just chain 1 and turn your work. And then starting in this first stitch, we'll just do a single crochet, and then do a single crochet in each stitch all the way across the row. And that'll be for a total of 6 rows altogether, rows 20 through 25. Okay, for rows 26 through 49, we're going to go back to doing the lemon peel stitch. So for these rows, you're going to chain 1 at the beginning, and turn your work, and then starting in the first stitch, do a single crochet, and then starting in the second stitch, do a double crochet, and just alternate those 2 stitches all the way across each row. So 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and your last stitch of each row should be a double crochet. And again, that's for rows 26 through 49. So I'll meet you back here at the end of row 49. At the end of row 49, for rows 50 and 51, we're going to do a single crochet in each of those rows. So for these rows, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then starting in that first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way across for this row and the next row. So that'll be rows 50 and 51. Okay, after you've done 2 rows of the single crochet, for row 52, we're going to repeat row 6, which is the 2 double crochet in a chain space row. So to start this row, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to turn our work, and then starting in that first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and do a double crochet in the following stitch, and then a double crochet in the stitch after that, and just repeat that all the way across the row. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and then a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And the last 2 stitches of this row should be 2 double crochets. So for row 53, we're going to do single crochets again all the way across. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and then starting in that first stitch, do a single crochet, and then do a single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet in the next chain space. And just repeat that all the way across, doing a single crochet in each stitch and each chain space. In the row after this, row 54, we'll be doing single crochet all the way across the row in each stitch. Okay, for row 55, we're going to go back and repeat this 2 double crochet chain space row again. So we'll chain 2, we'll turn our work. This doesn't count as a stitch, so we'll be starting in the first stitch. We'll be doing a double crochet in that first stitch, and then a double crochet in the second stitch. Then we chain 1, we skip the third stitch, and then in the next stitch after that, the fourth stitch, we'll be doing a double crochet. And then in the following stitch, another double crochet. And we just repeat this all the way across, chain 1, skip a stitch, then do a double crochet in each of the following 2 stitches. Okay, at the end of this row, we're going to do 2 more rows of single crochet after this. So we'll chain 1, we'll turn our work, and then in this first stitch for row 56, we'll do a single crochet, and we'll do a single crochet in each stitch and each chain space all the way across. And in the next row, row 57, we'll be doing the same thing, single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Okay, after row 57, you've got 2 more rows of the single crochet stitches. For rows 58, 59, and 60, we're going to be doing the lemon peel stitch again. So for these rows, chain 1, and then turn your work, and then in that first stitch, do a single crochet, and then in the next stitch, do a double crochet, and just alternate those all the way across each row for the next 3 rows. So that's rows 58, 59, and 60. At the end of row 60, we've now finished all the stitching that we're going to do for the body of this. Now we're going to attach our dowel rod. So to do this, you'll turn your work and go ahead and grab your dowel rod. Now you want to take your dowel rod and put it with your hook on top and your working yarn going around the back of it. So it's just kind of sitting on top of the row. This can be a little awkward to work with at first. So you don't have to worry about being too exact with it because you'll be able to move this around. But first we're going to slip stitch. So that'll just bring your thread around your dowel rod and basically start to get you connected here. So in the first stitch here, you're going to insert your hook. And you're going to yarn over going back behind your dowel rod and pull a loop up through that stitch. So you should have your working yarn behind the dowel rod and 2 loops on your hook that's on the front of the dowel rod. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So what this is doing is just creating a single crochet stitch that's going around the dowel rod. And so that's what we're going to be doing all across here. In each stitch we're going to be doing a single crochet, but we're going to be doing it with the dowel rod and going around it. So you'll just put your hook into the stitch here, and we'll be pulling up a loop from behind the dowel rod and then yarning over and pulling through like you do for a single crochet. Like I said, it can be just a little tricky to work with this because it's just, you're not used to it. Nobody crochets with a dowel rod in their hand. But we're just going to keep doing this all the way across in each stitch. Now if you don't want to do this and you think you have a better way that you'd like to secure this to the top, you can go ahead and do that too. You could do triple crochet stitches and then kind of weave the dowel rod in and out of them if you want. You could do clusters of double crochets. You could also just take a needle and one long yarn piece and just secure it around it that way. Okay, so at the last stitch, you do the single crochet around the dowel rod, and then bring your working yarn down around the back of the dowel rod, and in that same stitch, just do a slip stitch. And that way we can secure it. So go ahead and cut off your working yarn. And we'll tie this off. And you can weave that in when we're completely done, or you can do it now if you'd like. So now, let me try to zoom out a little bit here. We're going to bring up and fold. You can see, so you can see where our single crochets are, or 6 rows of them. So we're going to fold, and this is going to be the bottom of our crease. So it should look like that. As you can see, it goes into the lemon peel right here, and there's our single crochet. So when we pull this up, the top edges here will come up to our last row of lemon peel here. So now we'll grab our yarn, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet down the edge here. So we'll put our hook into the first side stitch here, and we're just going to do this evenly, and just count how many you do all the way down, because you'll need to do the same amount on the other side. So what you'll want to do is, once we get our hook through that first side, find your single crochet here, and then this is the last row of the lemon peel, so we'll go ahead and put our hook through that. Then you can take this tail and just bring it down and stitch over that to help with weaving it in as you're going along here. Okay, so we'll just put our new working yarn around our hook, and we'll bring this through, and we'll go ahead and pull it through to create a slip stitch. So now in that first stitch, after you've done a slip stitch, we'll go ahead and do a single crochet, and then we're just going to do them evenly all the way down the sides here. Once you're at the last part of this, go ahead and do one more single crochet, and then you'll just go ahead and cut this and fasten this one off. And then we're going to turn the work over here to the other side. Now on this one, it's probably going to be easiest to work from this side up. So what we'll do again, we'll insert our hook into the end here through both ends. Grab our yarn and put it on our hook. Go ahead and pull a loop through, and then just do a slip stitch. Now we'll just do like we did on the other side and space these evenly, going all the way up the side in each row. And as you go up, just make sure that this end is meeting up with the last row of lemon peel stitches on this side. You can put a stitch marker in to hold it here, so that way it's secured as you're going up, if that helps you out some. So after you finish this off, you can tie it off after you've done your last single crochet here, and go ahead and weave in your ends. Okay, so once you have this completed, you can do several things to hang it. You can either just have two hangers, one for each side of your dowel here, or you can make a string to go across. You can make a chain, you can do a braid, whatever you would prefer. What I've done for mine is just a simple string that just go into the end here and just pull the yarn through with my crochet hook. And then I have the open end here, and then just continue on with the yarn to the other side, and go ahead and bring the string around, and then just pull this through. And then all you need to do is just get this to the length that you wanted, and go ahead and pull this up, and then just cut this just pull this tight. Go ahead and just tie this in a knot. Just do a couple knots here just to get it nice and secure. Right, and now you can enjoy your new pouch.